Hi folks, Puffin here. Thanks for watching. I've been doing a series of videos I'm calling Only Go Back to Work on Solar Roads about how we need to do a bunch of infrastructure, revamp everything to solar green energy power before we do any other reopening of stuff, including schools, and really mainly schools. I kind of want to focus on that in this particular edition and just call it Give Teachers and Students a Freaking Break, because a lot of other industries have been basically shut down during this pandemic, and people have been getting government money, Bernie bucks, to stay home and not work at all. Teachers should be getting this too. Right now, we have 40% of our teachers are ready to quit, and they're pushing people to go back to school, and they're trying to say we need to reopen schools as fast as possible. You're not even going to have teachers there to teach the classes if you keep pushing this hard, because the problem is they're not complaining that they're doing online school, that they're teaching from home. They're probably, most likely, most of them are complaining that they're in school without the resources for it to be safe, and things are just getting worse. They're continuing to spread the virus from schools. Or when I see these sports teams playing, they might have masks on, but they just look like virus parties. Like, even if there's hardly anybody in the stands, the athletes playing are potentially spreading the virus to each other and to each other. It's just not necessary. It's not essential work. I'm sorry, but exercise at home, find other ways to exercise, deal with the fact that you don't get to be on a team. Well, all these other people don't even get to see anybody. So maybe do some reaching out to other people who weren't on your team to provide community to other people, just because you don't have that source of community. But anyway, this push to get back to schools is ridiculous. I've mentioned in my other video that 40% of places or people have access to in-person school, but the CDC says 90% of places it's not safe to do that. And the real focus, if we just take a step back and look at it, the real point of this is, why push people to go back to school on the idea that if kids were in school, parents could go back to work? It's not safe for anybody. You haven't solved the virus problem yet. The reason parents aren't going back to work is not because they have to stay home with the kids, because the kids aren't in school. The reason the parents aren't going back to work is because it's not safe to go back to work yet. It's been a full year of lockdown because you didn't do it right, because Trump was trying to spread the virus, not stop it, and you're left with too much momentum from his agenda and plan or whatever. You're still trying to restart schools. It's just, you don't even have vaccines for kids yet. So why even talk about restarting schools? Like, we have to be real about this. Pay the teachers to stay home, just like you're paying other workers to stay home. Pay everybody you possibly can to stay home. That's how you stop the virus. People aren't staying home because they can't leave because their kids are there. They're staying home because there's a virus out there that people don't want to get. And you don't seem to get that. You seem to be operating, meaning you, the government, the media and stuff, seem to be operating on this agenda that we just need to get back. So we don't actually need to get back. Let's be real about what's really going on, and let's hear some of these voices, because in the media you'll see them talking about, they'll put some teachers on there that say, we want to get back to school as soon as we can. The problem is some of these schools have been open the whole time and still with their best practices and haven't had outbreaks, and then they have an outbreak, and then everybody in the school is gone. But there's 3 or 4 kids left in a class, and the teacher still has to show up for that. And those kids are getting excess work because the teachers are assigning work to try to keep kids busy at home. Like, it's not fair to anybody. It wouldn't hurt anybody to take a break from this stuff, a timeout from school, a time. Everyone else is, a lot of kids' parents are sitting at home playing video games, getting Bernie bucks, and why do the kids have to do schoolwork? It's just not fair. Like, let the kids have a break, let the teachers have a break, give everybody you possibly can a break, and then maybe your 40% of half your teaching workforce won't quit. Because I imagine most of these teachers are doing it because they love the job, because they believe in teaching, they really want to do it. And then you're forcing them out of that profession to do something else, just because they can't stand having to meet your demands when it's not reasonable at this time and it's not safe. And just to take a step back, realize that a lot of these perceptions about stuff were set by a Trump agenda that was trying to give everyone the virus. And if we actually operate that we're trying to stop the virus, we have to stop everything we can possibly stop, and that includes school. So that's why my whole point is Clear choice. I'm wearing my old Obama era campaign from a campaign rally where they focus on environmentalism. Let's actually do that. Let's focus on environmentalism. Let's make a green infrastructure before we do anything else and get all the construction workers that don't have kids back to work as safely as possible doing that, and have all the ones that do have kids either some good childcare, or maybe their kids can come to work. Maybe some kids can do educational opportunities in helping facilitate the turning the country into, green roads, solar power stations, or electric power stations for electric cars all over the place. The stuff we need to do to revamp our society. So that's why my whole goal is solar roads before schools. Even if it takes a couple years, we can kind of take a break or shift to an online model so people continue to learn. But people learn a lot like watching YouTube. So let's be real about what the real goals are and how we can really accomplish things. Thanks. Talk to you soon.